यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace be unto all. Let us feel the unchanging center of our consciousness. It is beyond all that changes, like body or the mind. The center of our consciousness or awareness is our true self or Atman. All that has form or shape changes, comes and goes. The Atman, being unchanging, is beyond birth and death, in fact beyond time and space. Thus, there cannot be two Atmans, the same, one, all-pervading consciousness. It is ever free. It is ever perfect. Om. Peace. 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 Om. Asatu ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormam amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, and from this limited mortal existence to the immortal, timeless, infinite existence. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So today's topic, dear friends, has nothing exactly to do with religion or spirituality, because in all fields, whatever you think of, this idea of freedom is prevalent. You can, for example, take the political arena. We want freedom from the bondage of some other rulers, and so there also we see there is lot of struggle for freedom. We want freedom. In the field of sociology, economics, and the personal relationships, everywhere this idea of freedom is there. So, in religion and spirituality, we find the deepest layer of this ultimate freedom. So, but the idea is in everyone. I want to be free. Even take a child wants to be free. Now, everybody has the idea of freedom which is connected with their awareness of bondage. What is one's idea of I am bound? And depending on that, the idea of freedom emerges. Just if somebody is sentenced to, say, 1 year in prison, now after 1 year comes out of the prison and declares, now I am a free man. But then there are other bondages from the prison, that particular prison, he is freed. But that doesn't mean all the bondages have gone away. There are some people feel the bondage of poverty. I don't have enough money. And so they think that if I get lot of money, then this bondage of poverty will go. Yes, that bondage will go, but that doesn't mean you will become free. And there is some interview of one couple who won a jackpot. Some $5 million were won, and then they reporters went, what do you want to do? And she said that, well, what to do, it is, first of all, out of these 5 millions, more than 2 millions have been taken for the tax, So it is, and then secondly, we discovered after we got this money that we have hundreds of relatives and friends whom we never had known earlier. That so now everybody is calling and wanting a share, a finger in the pie. So it is, oh, we have this problem, you can now help us, and so forth. So now that has become a bondage. Now what to do with it? Earlier we didn't have that problem. Now lot of money. So our lifestyle now it's changed. Like you reporters would never have come to seek us, but now you came, now we have to talk to you. So that all such is the now new level of bondage that comes. So there are various levels of bondage. A child feels that, well, let me become quickly a grown-up person. That it is, one child was, he was son of a singer. So when we had a program, and then after that child also had come, then we asked him, hey, laddie, you would like to become a wonderful singer when you grow up, just like your dad? No. He was quite sure about it, that no. Then what would you like to do when you get grown up? He said, I will smoke. Because right now they say, no, you are a child, you cannot do that. So now the bondage is there. So when you get grown up enough, then you can have this freedom to smoke. So ideas of freedom vary so much, and with that, if you get one level of freedom, one realizes that there are other bondages that are around you. So therefore, to become free is, although a search for us, we want to be free, but what is our idea of bondage? That makes our understanding of freedom also understandable for us, understandable for others as well. That what is my idea, what I am bound by, and accordingly then there will be the freedom associated with that idea of bondage. So there is the thought started coming to people that even if we get freedom from some of these bondages, still some other bondage comes, and that some other bondage is not less stringent than the one that previously I had. So what is the way to become ultimately free? Sri Ramakrishna says that there are 4 types of people. The 4 types, he says, jivas, 4 types of individuals. Some he calls them that totally bound, head to foot. It is. Then there are some who are aware. The first category is even not allowed to know that it is bound. The bondage is so much that in the bondage they think I am fine, it is all this, it is. So there is no even feeling of bondage. Then some awareness comes and you start feeling, yes, I am bound and I need to become free. So, then you analyze what is the bondage. Then you come to the understanding that this individuality, this I, that is bondage, which is this individuality means I consciousness caught in body and mind. That is bondage. But they think what can be done, it is nothing can be done to get freed from that. Then there is a class, they feel that no, I must struggle, I must find a way out to shatter all these bondages and become free. So, and out of these a few succeed. So, he gives the analogy of the fish caught in the net. Some are very happy about it, they didn't know that they are bound, and they are going to be picked out and would die. They are not aware of this. Some understand that they are caught and then they try to free themselves. Some of them become free, and there are some who never get caught at all. So, this is another categorization of bound and free. So, there is the descriptions like that what is the bondage, what is the freedom, and is there a procedure to free yourself from these bondages. One thing that has, after analysis, after understanding things, after having enough experience to ponder on, one sees that I am bound. This bondage is my individuality, and so I have to strive to shake it up, to get rid of it. Not only that, you realize, as Swami Vivekananda describes it beautifully in his lectures in Jnana Yoga, that how the bondage is so terrible. This bondage, in Vedanta, it is called by the word Maya. This fact of bondage, it is not an explanation, it is not a theory that explains anything, it is just a name. It is again and again Vivekananda mentions there, and as you can see in various books, Upanishads, Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, that Maya is this statement of fact, that this is how the bondage is there all around wherever you go. And these efforts are not bringing any escape from that bondage. There has to be some special way to do it. In our regular course of life, the bondage only changes the shape and some minor things about it. It remains the same. Its outer appearance changes, that's all, but it still is bondage that one feels. So, how to get rid of it? The efforts that we make, they do not bring us to freedom at all. It is like a cyclical path, you keep on running on it and you never go anywhere. You go nowhere when running on that circular path, again and again and again, same thing. So, no escape. Some people think that death could be an escape, but no, even death is not an escape. You have to again get born in another body. It is no escape even by death. This bondage is so terrible. And it is so contradictory in nature that even our effort to become free just compounds the bondage. There is that is the problem, like we want to become happy. If something is making us feel happy, we go towards that. And then we feel I will get some happiness. By experience they know that it is transitory, but still it is better to get transitory happiness than getting no happiness at all. But soon one realizes there is nothing like transitory happiness. It is the waiting for happiness that is being called happiness. There is no happiness as such at all. You just keep on thinking, tomorrow, after this. It is like this, postponing or thinking. Yes, one student at Brown, a very nice devotee and all, she used to come, but once in a while she said, very busy, right now, it is so many tests are coming up, so many submissions are to be done. After 2 weeks, I think I will become free, then I will come very regularly. The 2 weeks went by. No, Swami, what happened is this, another 2 weeks, another 4 weeks, next month, next year, from next session, from next year, I will be coming very regularly. That year passed. It is, and then she used to give on her own, because I stopped asking. I know this is the nature. So it is, it is so difficult, Swami. It is so, that is how it never happens. Only you think it will happen after some time. The happiness that we get in this world is of that type. That it is, if this happens, then I will become happy, and well, that will go, but at least for some time I will feel happy. Sometimes means when your awareness is dulled, then it is not feeling the need to become free or happy, and so you feel that sense of happiness. It is actually, there is no happiness in this world, but you cannot stop from going towards things that are pleasurable, that you appear to be pleasurable. You are forced there even after you know that it is a bondage. That itself is a bondage, isn't it? In spite of your knowledge that you should not do it, you should not go for that, and still you are pushed to do that, and for what? For happiness. This is the nature of bondage for happiness. See how terrible it is, what kind of slavery it is. Just think that we have to go for that, and which is surely a disappointment, as a hunt for pleasure. I had told this before. It is a very amusing statement in the Declaration of Freedom, that certain unalienable rights that are told there, the right to life, right to property, but when it is right to happiness, no, right to pursuit of happiness. And that is what is written there. It is not said there life to pursue, that right to pursue life. Pursuit of life is not mentioned, but life is mentioned, right to life, right to property and whatever. But when it comes to happiness, it is only right to pursue happiness, because you don't get it. It is the bondage that you still have to go to that. We want to live, But see the terrible bondage there also. We are sure to die. Everyone who is grown up a bit becomes aware that I am sure to die. Is there anybody here who says, no, 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 I will never die? In one's sane moment at least one will not say that, because you see everywhere people dying around, so forth. But till then let me live. Oh, of course. But what is your living? Going towards death. So it is dying that you are calling living. Gradually you are dying. You are going towards death is getting called life. Look at the contradiction. This is how the bondage is. From all sides we are bound. And we want freedom, but there is no way that we can become free. One gets disappointed and many times disgusted. Many think that impossible, this cannot be solved at all. One of our science professors, when I was studying, and there was one Vedanta lecture arranged there, it was in our department by one Swami, and then later it was open for question answers, and this professor was not asking any question, but he just commented to his colleague, all these things, these questions have no answers at all. Why worry about it? These questions have no answers. Yeah, that is how it starts in that disappointment and disgust. As one grows older, it becomes more and more. It is all then you keep on whatever you had made attempts, and still you are forced to make, it ends up in frustration and resentments. So you keep on, Swami Ranganathananda says that thus one keeps on accumulating resentments all life. Soon one becomes old, then a huge heap of disappointments. It is that is how Swami Vivekananda in Jnana Yoga says that that old age, what is it? It is a heap of broken dreams. The dreams you dreamed in the young age, you dream that, well, my life will be a great blessing to me, to society, to everyone, and I will be the best person ever born in the world. I want to do that. That is the goal of life. Okay, I want to do that. But as that very person becomes old, sees how impossible it is, and so becomes kind of cynic in attitude, that nothing can be done, keeps on remembering the past. When a person keeps on telling the stories of past, then you know that the person has become old. It is very old, because there is not much future to be seen. So you keep on dwelling on the past, how great I was, what such wonderful things I did, and how wonderful times that we lived in this modern, and all that happens naturally. So the point is, this is what is called Maya. This all contradictions that we are caught in. We try to get knowledge through science, thinking that that will make us free. Well, it doesn't happen, because you solve one puzzle, another is waiting for you. And that is how the research goes on and on, you know. If you have solved the problem, then there was nothing much to be done at the universities, you know, at least in the research area. That but that doesn't happen. Always there are new problems coming up. Unsolved mysteries are being thrown at you. So, there is no end visible to that in that field either. So many such things that keep on piling up more and more bondage. And so, the first thing it is said is to become aware of bondage. The title is Bondage to Freedom. Now, therefore, first thing is getting aware, becoming aware, pinchingly aware that there is this bondage. Pinchingly aware, you know, that somebody pinches you hard. Now, that pain, you will let it, you leave it, you tell that person, don't do that. It is very painful. So, becoming pinchingly aware of the bondage means now you don't want it anymore. You become aware of that state, that whatever I do here, there is no way to freedom unless I change the direction of my efforts. So, this is what is told here, so that Swami Vivekananda says that it is all the religions, he says that they are the manifestations of this struggle to become free. Now, and I am quoting now, now all these various manifestations of religion in whatever shape and form they have come to mankind have this one common central basis. It is the preaching of freedom, the way out of this world. They never came to reconcile the world and religion, but to cut the Gordian knot, to establish religion in its own ideal and not to compromise that with the world. This is a very important thing that one needs to understand. It is, our attempt is to make this world of I and mine nice looking. It has problems, but we can fix the problems and it will be then so nice. You can never do that because it is basically a contradiction. What you see as nice now will see as ugly tomorrow. There is nothing, no way it can be made nice. It is like prison. You paint the bars of your cell in golden color. Does it make that prison less jarring? It is like that. Our improvement of the world means this. Our cell in the prison is made a little more beautiful, say new furniture has been put in there or whatever, yeah. Or earlier you were being given 50 lashes, now the number has reduced to 45, that's it, you know. It is what this is this freedom? So, one must understand, and every thinking person comes to this understanding. Today or tomorrow, no compromise. There is no way that we can make this life in this world free. There is some other way that you have to get that knowledge by which your this individuality will get expression beyond this physical cage, beyond this I and mine. This I and mine seems then to be the fulcrum of all bondage. I will continue reading. The duty of Vedanta is to harmonize all these aspirations of religions, to make manifest the common ground between all the religions of the world, the highest as well as the lowest, what we call the most errant superstitions and the highest philosophy, really have a common aim in that they both try to show the way out of this same difficulty, and in most cases this way is through the help of someone who is not himself bound by the laws of nature in this world. It is, suppose you are drowning, you don't take the help of another fellow who is drowning too. It is somebody who is not drowning is able to pull you out. So it is you are in a ditch, so somebody who is not in that ditch can extend you a rope or hand and pull you out. So we are looking for the help of someone who is not bound. That is the way to go about. So the next this is called personal God. Whatever name you may give it, in spite of all the difficulties and differences of opinion about nature of one free agent, whether he is a personal God or a sentient being like man, whether masculine, feminine or neuter, and the discussion have been endless. The fundamental idea is the same, in spite of the almost hopeless contradictions of the different systems. We find the golden thread of unity running through them all, and in this philosophy, this golden thread has been traced, revealed little by little to our view, and the first step to this revelation is the common ground that all are advancing towards freedom. All of us are advancing towards freedom. It is, we learn gradually. This is a great step, that yes, freedom is my true nature, and that is going to get revealed gradually. If you strive in the right way, the chances that you will get it discovered are more. It is, first thing is to give up the idea of compromise, that okay, the freedom, I don't, it is absolute freedom is not possible, but some relative freedom, some relative bondage, I can live with that, It is, one has to give up this idea of compromising with the world. It is not possible. It is, this nature of this truth is like that. Not a little truth and a little nonsense. Let me combine that. No, a whole thing becomes nonsense. It is pure water, one thing, a mixture of pure and water and impure water. It is impure water. So it is, the mixture will not work like this. One must have a clear idea that it is not possible in this way. I continue to quote, one curious fact present in the midst of all our joys and sorrows, difficulties and struggles, is that we are surely journeying towards freedom. The question was practically this: what is this universe? From what does it arise? Unto what does it go? And the answer was, in freedom it arises, in freedom it rests, and into freedom it melts away. The idea of freedom, you cannot relinquish. Your actions, your very lives will be lost without it. Every moment nature is proving us to be slaves and not free, yet simultaneously rises the other idea that still we are free. So, how we go about it? It is, and then Swami Vivekananda continues here that let us insist and believe in our true nature to be free. That yes, I am bound in the circumstances, but in my essential nature I am free. And when we try to see that essential nature and connect to it, it becomes, quite apparent that there I am free. Like in the beginning, we were meditating on our true nature as distinct from body and mind. Now, there is no possibility of bondage to it at all. It is beyond time, space, causation. It is one without second. Where is the possibility of bondage there? Just think about it. It is freedom itself that can never be put in any kind of bondage. So, one has to, the first step, that after understanding that I am bound because of the association with body, mind and this world and so forth, I am caught in that, then next step would be that, but I have this spark of freedom in me, my true self is not bound at all. So, my not true self is bound, my true self is not bound. So, now the journey becomes from my not true self to my true self. Instead of calling it from bondage to freedom, now it becomes not from, it is from my not true self to my true self. So, the first thing is that insisting again and again, repeating again and again that I am essentially free. This is, and so to learn that I am not this body. One has to learn it because we are so accustomed, so much habituated, so much addicted to think that I am body. And then if I am body, body is bound by nature. So, if I am body, I too am bound, but I am not body. It is, I am not mind either. There is no possibility that I am mind. Just think about it. And thus, this awareness of being separate from body and mind, that is what is the way that to become free, that yes, I am not body. See how much freedom we get just by that understanding. It is, think for a minute, I am not body. Just 1 minute, let us concentrate on this thought. I am not this body. I have no birth, I have no death, I have no disease, it is all to the body. I have no gender, I have no age, I am neither poor nor rich, I don't have any such idea. See how much burden is unloaded by this one understanding, I am not body. All burden will be just taken off when we see I am not body and I am not mind either. Just try, we have to keep on trying to get identified with that by kicking away mercilessly this identification with body and mind. And attempt to that in that direction is called yoga. Yoga is this idea that connect to your true nature that is ever free. Thus, this bondage will be a matter of history. There was a great British poet, Robert Browning. Many of his poems are very famous. He was born in early 1800s and passed away in I think 1879. So, and many of his poems and dramas are very famous and very spiritual in nature. Towards the end of his life, he was regarded as a philosopher saint, philosopher poet, philosopher saint. So, I am quoting from one of his poems wherein he brings this idea of freeing the splendor within, and I am quoting from the poem. Truth is within ourselves, it takes no rise from outward things. Whatever you may believe, there is an inmost center in us all where truth abides in fullness and around. Wall upon wall, that the truth abounds there in the fullness. And around, wall upon wall, the gross flesh hems it in. This perfect clear perception, which is truth, a baffling and perverting carnal mesh binds it and makes all error. And to know rather consists in opening out a way whence the imprisoned splendor may escape, than in effecting entry for a light supposed to be without. This is the effort has been directed, shown here, that stop seeking satisfaction from any outwardly gained. And this is not easy because of the habit that we have fallen in, that our eyes, our ears, our all sense organs and mind, they show us things outside, and we feel that getting some of that is going to make my life so good. No, stop that. Kathopanishad says to, that teacher Yamaraj tells Nachiketa that you have to stop. Avritta chakshu amritatvam icchan paranchi khani vyatrunat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. These sense organs, they are showing us all that is untrue. It is only a mutilated version, perverted version of reality is brought to us through these senses and mind. So, if you want the truth, then cover these senses. The idea is do not go after the sense objects. One has to put a brake on, press the brake before you go too far in the wrong direction, get more and more bound. So, you have to make a turn around, start avritta chakshu amritatvam icchan. It is, and then in the next verse it says, only those babies, they run after, babies in the sense not grown up in age, they are spiritual babies. They have not had any understanding of these things, the nature of these things. So, they run after these things which allure the senses. And so, those who want the freedom and immortality, they do not go after them, because they will get more bound by that. So, this is the process that has to be taken up. This nice picture, it depicts the great idea in Mundak Upanishad. Same idea comes in Shvetashvatar Upanishad also, same verses actually, that there is this tree, and then on the that upper branch of the tree, there is the bird who is free, and the lower bird is bound, but is feeling that let me eat those nice fruits, and these fruits are bitter, means painful, and sweet. And not that there are two different fruits, some are sweet and some translations are like that. That is not the correct way, that is not what the Upanishad has said. The bitter means they appear to be sweet, till you taste them they are sweet, you know. You go, you are pushed to get it, and then when you taste it, that is where the bitterness comes, you know. It is sweetness in appearance, bitterness in taste. And so, this fellow, the bird, decides, oh, let me stop this attempt. My friend on the upper branch, that topmost branch, it is how calm, serene that bird is. It is, let me become like that bird, has no problem, is free. And so goes to move towards that. But again the attraction deludes him, this lower bird. Last time I might have committed a mistake in judging those fruits. Now I will be very careful and skillful. I will get only the sweet fruits. That is what we think, isn't it? That next time I am going to have only happiness. No, it is in the nature of the things, it is appearance only is the sweet fruit. In actuality, it is all only bitterness. So, therefore, this bird gets cheated again, but again understands. So, this is a progressive path. One commits certain mistakes, learns from the mistakes. So, this process of yoga involves introspection and learning from one's mistakes. We need not think that what I was thinking earlier may be wrong, but since I was thinking like that, I will still hold on to that. No, it is not correct, give it up. One must have that much courage to move forward. It is, so as you move forward, the more and more strength gets acquired in the process to move further in this direction. And ultimately, as this process continues, one sees that there was no lower bird at all. It was only the upper bird, that alone. This was all and it's just a nightmare that I am bound and so forth. This is all time, space, past, future, everything is just dissolved, and the truth of this freedom dawns upon one. So this is how the practice of yoga gradually takes us forward. One must remember here that, and many times question gets asked about it, that, well, Vedanta says, I am ever free, I am ever perfect, I am divine. Why is the need for the spiritual practice? Okay, if you are being constantly aware of that your true nature, then you don't need that any kind of practice. Are you aware? That is the question. Talking comes very easy, but the question is how much I am feeling this freedom. It is therefore we have to do the practice. As Swami Vivekananda says, that each soul is potentially divine, and the goal is to manifest this divinity by controlling nature, external and internal. That is, the external means body, and internal means mind. The two have to be controlled so that, as poet Browning says, the inner splendor then will shine forth in life. One will see that I am beyond time, I am free, nothing can bind me. So this process has to be assiduously followed. That is where the details are, just otherwise imagining I am ever free will not help. You have to do the what is called practice or sadhana, and that sadhana will change our life, and then we will really become free, never to be bound again. That is the true freedom that one will realize. Let us feel this. Let us again meditate for a minute for our ever free, true spirit beyond body and mind. Peace, peace, peace. Any questions? John has a question.
Can you hear me even with my mask on?
Huh?
Yeah. First of all, I found this tape measurement.
Found what?
A tape
Freedom.
measurement.
Found freedom?
I found a tape measurer.
Oh, to measure how free you are. Huh?
Well, I'm hoping my question will measure up. And I was thinking about this today because a while back you said that you were talking about God's voice. And, well, why can't we hear God's voice? Is because it's drowned out by so many other voices all around. Would you equivalate, what's the word I want to use?
Oh, please
Would you equate
hold your microphone, like this, so that...
Would you equate the voices of worldly clamor, you might say, as something that drowns out God's voice? And would you say that those voices of worldly clamor are what keep us in bondage.
Very correct. That these voices, they are again not the voices of world as such, but what we perceive as world. Those voices are also within us. They keep on clamoring, otherwise they wouldn't have affected us. It is because of that we cannot hear the voice of God. It is when our mind becomes calmed down, then we hear the voice of Jesus, that, "O ye who are suffering, heavily laden, come to me and I will give you rest." And then we are able to hear that. So, thank you.
Over a period of years, I've been exposed to many gurus and been attuned to their energy to some extent. And there was a point where I experienced austerities, where I was really thin and everything was, I felt really free, and there's always something that comes up that grabs you. And I just can't seem to, I don't know what to do. I really don't.
Well, continue to hear the voice of God, voice of the saints, and act accordingly. That is the way, my dear. It is and you will start feeling more progress. If you do it assiduously, steadfastly, regularly. One mistake that we make is that we go a little distance and then stop going, and in fact get back, and then become worse than what we were. So that is why a very disciplined, constant practice has to be carried on for a long time. And then you can feel the result in life. Otherwise, you go 2 steps forward, 4 steps backward. Now that should not happen.
Well,
that's the reason.
But my son, who I thought was married and working working at a job and all that, is now divorced. I'm going, oh my gosh. My son was married and seemingly happily, and now he is divorced, and I'm worried about him.
Well, let him take care of himself,
I'd like that very much.
Don't worry about it,
All right.
It is. Have you got your own worries not enough?
Well,
that you have to borrow your son's worries? Let him be happy. He got married to get happiness. And he is getting divorced. He got divorced to get more happiness.
Hopefully, yes.
Isn't
Hopefully,
it?
Yes. Okay.
It is. So, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
That Abhishek has some question.
Maharaj, all of us are born with a bondage because we are born to parents, all of us. Now, that is a thing that we cannot change. Of course, we can choose to get bound to other bondages, to have wife and kids, but one could still live without having those. But one does not have a choice that we were in fact bound to our parents. So my question is, now with that comes a lot of expectations from parents and all that. So the question is, can I still be free without cutting that altogether? I don't think that is what is said. So even having that bondage with parents, is it still possible to be free?
Well,
or how?
They see what you think of bondage. It's a very nice question and very nicely presented. You should have become, a legal attorney or somebody nice to present the arguments. So it is certainly you think about it, that what was born of the parents, you were never born of these mother and father, only a lump of flesh and such things came out, and that too it was not made by them, it was not their conscious decision to give birth to you. They were doing something, something happened. They didn't know how the eyes will be made, how the nose will be made. So, while one must be very, very respectful about the parents, and also do whatever is needed to do for them, but never think that you are bound by that. You are, that is where the difference is. You know, Jesus says, my Father in heaven. He has not called that carpenter Joseph and Mary as his parents. It is, he sees that my Father in heaven. So he is called the only Son of God. Whose children are we all? Are we not children of God? Yes or no? Yes, we all are children of God, but we are not aware of that. So to become aware of that can be another way of presenting that, that is the freedom. Moreover, what has really given birth to us are our past impressions, and then we chose the parents actually. That is what is the Vedantic understanding. If you see the Upanishads, they in Vedantic understanding, it is the parents don't beget a child, the child beget parents, you know. And you, according to the situation, according to your preferences, what kind of body you want, and again what you can afford. We were studying it last time in the Bhagavatam class, that together you choose the parents and thus acquire a body. It is like that, and you have paid the price also for that. So, but please don't mistake it that so you should now, you are not my parents, I will not take care of you, I will behave very rudely with you. That is the absolutely wrong way of doing it. But know that God is my true father, my true mother. Therefore, in India, in Hindus, we have that very beautiful, very important chant, and then we used to chant it every single day without much understanding the meaning of it though. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Have you heard this? Yeah. So, thou, O Lord, you are my father, you are my mother. Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. You are all my friends and siblings. Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva. All my learning and my wealth and my everything. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. So that is how the shifting of awareness has to be done. That is bondage to freedom. If I am body, I am this lump of flesh, then you are right, they are my parents. And then I am bound. But find out, are you this body? You are not this body. You have a soul that is different from body. It is. So remember this. One Swami, he told this, Sukalyan was there in the UMass Dartmouth, that Swami gave that lecture. He said, well, he was at the airport in India and was going to France. So, the clerk there and at the airport, that Air France booth, said, what, there is nothing but body. Body alone is true. What is soul and all? We do not believe it. It is all unscientific. He said, let me prove it to you. Right here I will prove it to you. See, I have got this return ticket from this Mumbai to Paris and back. Now, I am boarding the flight to Paris. Suppose something happens, I get a massive heart attack and I die in Paris. Now, I have the return ticket. So, can this same ticket, will it hold for my body to fly back to Mumbai? The clerk said, no, it can't be, you have to get a cargo ticket. Why? If I am just the body even after heart attack, the body will be looking the same, isn't it? So, if I am body, I should be able to just use the same ticket and get it flown to Bombay. So, you are not body, there is something more to it. So, the point is, we have to enforce this idea and in a very methodical way. Then gradually we will progress. If just we keep on hesitating whether I should take a step or not take a step, then we won't progress much, no progress actually. So, we must take steps towards the goal. Yeah. Any question on the web?
Yes, there is one question. It is from Shubha. Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam.
You mentioned on this a bit, but consciousness suppression of tendencies versus one's natural tendency to curb worldliness. Please expand a bit on this. Do they follow similar practice or path?
Please repeat. Your words were getting a little.
Right. Actually it starts. Conscious suppression of tendencies versus one's natural tendency to curb worldliness. Please expand a bit on this. Do they follow similar path?
Yeah, practice? Correct. I got it. This question is actually the twofold religious practice. One is to consciously suppress and then give scope to your natural divine tendency. That also is in us naturally, to feel God and so forth. So, both these actually are not contradictory as such. It is one, in fact, for most of us, practicing both together is necessary, because unless we suppress, as just now Richard was asking, that so much that sounds go on, not Richard, John was asking that, I think, that all the clamor going on, does it prevent us from hearing the voice of God? Yes. So, the voice of listening to voice of God requires that stopping of these clamoring worldly voices. So, you have to suppress that so that you can listen to this. So, and if you listen to it, if you emphasize that, then automatically all the worldly voices, they will get suppressed. It is both these efforts. One is called the first one, that suppressing and all, is called the yoga of knowledge, means rejection. This is not this, this is not this, this is not body and all that. Yoga of discernment, and the second is called the yoga of devotion. Feel the God. Who cares, that worldly, the suppression and all that? No, just make those tendencies get connected with God, and you will get what is needed. Thank you, very nice question. So, let me make some quick announcements about the upcoming programs. Oh, February 13, the topic is a statement in Bhagavad Gita, let's not succumb to cowardice. The Tuesday, Friday lectures at 7:30 p.m. The Tuesday topic is Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. Friday it is Srimad Bhagavatam, stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. They will go on as usual, morning, evening meditation sessions. They also will be going on as usual. So let me conclude with the closing prayer, then there will be the Arati. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native American, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is your form. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Looking at them, illusion is gone. Ocean of shining love and feeling, ever inebriated in your infinite love. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Form a boat to cross this world. Reveal to us as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us join with you. Your mind's always set in the divine light. Your mind's always set in the divine light. This we can see through your grace. Destroyer of our worldly sorrow and compassion so infinite is your word. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance, saving us from darkness and fear. chaser of all lust and lucre. Therefore you were always spurning sensual life. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Grant to us pure love for you. You're fearless and you're free from doubting, with your mind very firmly resolved. Causeless refuge of your devotees, causeless refuge of your devotees, renouncing caste and birth. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blessing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blessing in the heart's gate. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Langa, ranga, bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Langa, ranga, bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Jaya Jaya for your worship divine. Hara Hara for your worship divine. Shiva Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adoration. Jai Ho, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all seeing Gauri. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddha Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ Ki Jai.